Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing from Adiba, and we're here to talk about if Canelo loses to Jaime Munguia. So as we all know, Canelo will be fighting Jaime Munguia this Saturday for Cinco de Mayo, and this is a fight that I never really liked, simply due to the fact that I think Canelo's ducking David Benavidez, and that Jaime Munguia does not deserve this fight based on his resume and accomplishments, but that's besides the point. I will watch the fight anyways, and I'm mainly interested in the undercard fights because a lot of the boxers on those fights have been inactive, but that's also besides the point. Regardless, I still think the main event will be an entertaining fight due to the styles, and I will answer questions that we have concerning Canelo. Will Canelo get his first knockout since 2021? Is Canelo really on a decline? And who will Canelo call out in the post-fight press conference and interview? I predict Canelo will beat Jaime Munguia in an exciting fight. I think Munguia's style is tailor-made for Canelo's counterpunching, and I honestly think he'll stop Munguia. But there's always a possibility that Canelo may lose. We've seen a lot of upsets in the past year, and Canelo's not immune to them. The question that I have is, what happens if Canelo loses to Jaime Munguia? The short answer is, it will be catastrophic for Canelo's career. Okay, let me not say catastrophic, but it will lower Canelo's stock and most likely hurt his legacy. Let me explain. As stated before, I think Canelo will beat Jaime Munguia. Munguia doesn't have the best defense, he keeps his head on the line a lot, and is hittable. He's been vulnerable to counterpunches his entire career, and counterpunching is Canelo's bread and butter. Furthermore, Canelo's at his best when fighting an aggressive, come-forward opponent like Munguia. And on top of his experience against the best, I don't see how Munguia wins this fight. However, there's one advantage for Jaime Munguia, and that's his youth. Canelo is 33 years old, while Jaime Munguia is 27 years old. That's only a 6-year difference. In theory, this difference in age shouldn't be a major factor, as most people believe that a boxer hits their true prime in their late 20s to early 30s, because they have the experience along with their physical prime. But when it comes to Canelo, people like to say that he's an old 33. Canelo has been a professional fighter since 15 years old and has 60 plus fights. That means he has a lot of wear and tear. He's been more stationary in his fights, prefers to throw single hard shots rather than the combinations he used to throw in his younger days. He's injury prone and he seems to have stamina issues. Munguia, on the other hand, doesn't have these issues. He fights with a lot of energy and is explosive. He throws a lot of combinations and doesn't mind taking a hit to give one. This youthfulness could pose a problem to Canelo because Canelo likes to fight at a slower pace that he can control and dictate. If Munguia is able to take Canelo's best shots and sustain his conditioning into the later rounds, maintaining his speed and power and explosiveness, he can overwhelm Canelo. Another thing that could work in Munguia's favor is Mexican pride. Canelo is the king of Mexican boxing and probably the biggest star in boxing, so he definitely wants to keep that title and protect it. Munguia, on the other hand, is the young gun who wants to prove himself in front of his people. This is his biggest fight of his career, and it's against Canelo, the king of Mexican boxing. Based on that info, I think Munguia is more motivated going into this fight, so I think his pride will benefit him, but it could also get him hurt. Assuming that Munguia wins this fight, what would happen to Canelo? Well, the obvious is that Munguia would instantly become a star in boxing and get a lot of praise from everyone. He will take the torch from Canelo. Canelo, on the other hand, would receive a lot of criticism, hate, and shit talk from fans and critics alike. People would say he's off his prime and on a decline. A rematch would definitely happen since Canelo is undisputed. But I believe that Canelo's legacy will take the biggest hit if he loses. A lot of people already think he's ducking David Benavidez and see this fight as a cherry pick. Losing to a guy that's mostly unknown to casuals and non-boxing fans, and even to the hardcore boxing fans, Munguia is not highly rated. The narrative would be that Canelo lost to a cherry pick while trying to duck David Benavidez. People try to stick this narrative to the Bivol fight, but due to Bivol's skill and resume, it was hard to land that narrative. Munguia, on the other hand, is no Bivol, so that narrative will definitely be strong. But as stated before, I do not believe that Canelo is going to lose this fight. Yes, Munguia has the youth and could overwhelm Canelo, but Canelo's counterpunching is tailor-made to beat Munguia's aggressive style. Munguia gets hit too much and he's been hurt several times in his previous fights, mainly from counters. I predict that Munguia gets stopped in the mid to late rounds, as I see him getting hurt by a counter right hand or a hook to the body. This will be the best case scenario for Canelo. If he gets a knockout, people will go crazy and get back on the Canelo hype train. Munguia isn't a pound for pound fighter, nor that accomplished, but fans like knockouts. And with this being a big Mexican versus Mexican fight, the hype will be real. This would definitely bring the talks of a David Benavidez fight to the forefront again. However, there are rumors that Canelo is fighting Jamal Charlo next, or Enga Berlanga. And if that happens, we gotta call Canelo a duck. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with AEO Boxing with Madiba. Hit like, subscribe, and more content's coming your way.